Turan, the unification of all Turkic people under the Turan banner in non-aligned, no less. One glorious flag, 3.3 million people, manpower even, 339 factories, 1947, don't mind that too much. A glorious Turkey, nice color scheme, don't mind these color battles here so much, it's alright. And best of all, our glorious leader Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, who survived his bout of illness in the 1930s and is still going strong. He's even a field marshal, and he is a glorious good field marshal. How did I get all here? Well, stick around and find out. Alright, so today we'll be playing as non-aligned Turkey, and we'll be going through the Peace at Home branch all the way to Türk Ulusu. So we'll start off with Mintron Convention, and then Atatism, 6 arrows, and Peace at Home. We need to do this one first because we need Inonu for this one, and we're going to get rid of him later. The non-aligned path allows us to make use of a glitch / necromancy / miracle cure to keep Ataturk indefinitely, and we're going to do that because he's very useful. We're also going to expand into the Turan branch later on. Let's do the basic research. I'm not going to show all the research this game because I'll try to rush through it, but what I will be focusing on is getting medium tanks and engineers to give flame tanks to my companies. I'll ignore the Air Force for now until I've caught up on everything else, and I'll completely ignore the Navy until I can steal someone else's, if I ever get around to that. I'll start with like 6 civilian factories, and after that we'll do military ones. We'll also build one supply hub here, put it in between the civs and the mills, and of course connect it with a railroad. And before I forget, we should also connect this railroad, because otherwise these are just connected by river, and that's not good. We can upgrade these later. Build convoys, 2 on guns, 1 on support equipment, and 1 on artillery. We'll add an anti-air because, well, for future purposes, otherwise I might forget. And this army, we're going to select everyone except the mountaineers. We'll delete those. Deleting the army allows me to put more guns into my occupation, which is a thing here. Separatist. And they will eat up my guns and manpower, and I need to stay on top of that. So I'm also creating an intelligence agency to lower the resistance there. I'm not going to do much else with the Turks because Türk Ulusu will pacify the Kurdish rebels. Train up a new army. They'll get trained eventually, 24, and we'll add 1 mountaineer. The mountaineers are going to be instrumental in trying to get through this nightmare here, the Caucasus, but we'll see about that later. This is the setup. Let's go. Things to look out for in the intelligence agency is of course anti-partisan for lowering resistance. Later on it doesn't really matter. Diplomatic training is always useful, as is invisible ink, and I might steal some technology. Here's the Montreux Convention. We'll continue with Atatism, and because we're on historical focuses we can simply annoy the Soviets to the bitter end and until we win. It gets us a nice batch of political power, and we'll use it to get the silent workhorse. In other Turkey games I usually go for the financial expert next, but this is the same guy I want as prime minister later. I need this guy as prime minister to glitch Ataturk into staying alive. I mean to cure his disease. Whatever. Let's ratify the 6 arrows, and we'll do Peace at Home. Ratifying the 6 arrows opens up a lot of possibilities. Republicanism is here for the game, and it's one of the best ways to raise your stability. Don't read that right now, but we'll get it later. Populism gives nice amounts of manpower. We'll be swimming in political power later, and we can just keep clicking this to get some more. Secularism is nice, especially once we well, we'll be going down the Kemalist path, so it's already quite nice. Get some better bonuses in our territories. Now get 1 batch of nationalism, get war support a little bit higher. And that's peace at home. We'll now do this entire branch with Sanaychiler, cooperate with the Debt Council and utilize foreign capital, and these two, and then we'll go all the way to Turk Ulusu. Sanaychiler. With the Sanaychiler focus, we have these factory decisions. The regular factories are much more expensive because of etatism. Once you get rid of that, these factories are only 50 PP and quite worth it. However, this decision here, 300 PP, looks expensive, but it's building slots and 4 military factories quite early in the game. I always go for this one, it's pretty much a no-brainer. Cooperate with the Debt Council is done, which opens up more decisions here. Absorb the TPDA, getting rid of our debts, step 1. I like to click this one. Next up will be getting, clicking that decision, open up this slot here, so you can get the inventive genius, Camille Talon, and he gives extra political power, so I'd like to get him too. He's a good investment for later in the game. Also, if you're going to do anything with Air Force, motorized, or tanks, you need oil and some refining tech, so get started on that relatively early. And that's foreign capital, and I'll do Sarabat Treaty. And right on cue, I was almost going to tell you about this. Ataturk takes ill. Normally, we would allow him to enjoy his retirement. We'd retire Ataturk, but this time we're just going to keep him around and trust in higher powers. We do need to replace Inonu with Sarakoglu. This guy here, the Prime Minister, Sarakoglu. We need a bit more PP for that, but Sarabat will give it to us. Assess our future is next, and the treaties also give us political power. Goodbye, Ismet, you have been very useful. And we'll get Sarakoglu, the Prime Minister, not a financial expert, the Prime Minister. Assess our future is done, which gives us even more political power gain. And we'll continue down to Turk Ulusu, which requires a 5-year plan and Guardians of Kemalism. Not this one, but we do need Hatay issues, so you'll see. Next priority for PP would be the Army Reformer. He gives extra experience and he's relatively cheap. You can also get the Maneuver Genius, might get him later. He actually gives more experience. It would have been the better option, I guess. Ah well, the Reformer it is for now. Do note Turkey does not start with engineers, and we need engineers 2 for flame tanks, so get on that early enough. Going into the armor branch, getting basic armor and basic engine, the light 1936 and the 1938 medium chassis. Quite a wish list. I'm also slowly building a secondary army. Another thing I like to do with my political power is over here. Give refuge to German scientists and Italian scientists. It costs a little stability, we can get that back, but that research bonus is going to stick with us quite a while, if not indefinitely. Meanwhile, Ataturk is not really improving, but I still believe he'll be just fine. And here we are, the death of Mustafa Kemal Ataturk. But he's still here. This is a glitch either, or you believe in necromancy or miracle cures. His bonuses are actually still here, you can see them. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk gives us 30% stability. We did lose quite a bit of stability because of his illness and the events, but he's actually still here, and we can still get him as a field marshal actually, once war breaks out. This is a glitch that can only be done in a non-aligned path, and you need Sarakoglu to be your prime minister. My guess is that the game wants to replace Ataturk with the current prime minister, and that this prime minister is somehow bugged. Spaghetti code ensues, and you stick with the big guy himself. I'm not complaining. And there's Turk Ulusu and some technologies. I'll ignore these two, and I'll go to abuse the Office of Soil Products. After which I will go to reconfigure Turkish foreign policy, because this time I'll be going for Turan, or see how far I can get there. I did this once before in a video, and then I went for the Balkan Integrity Pact. That's actually a strong path, but it's a dead end here, so you can only get this stuff, which is more than enough basically. It's nice for cooperative multiplayer, baby. But I'm going for a Turkish foreign policy and get some bonuses from the Soviets, particularly these factories here, some bonuses from the Allies, and then I'll go with the Axis for conquests. I'm going to put our main army on the Soviet border. That's where they'll do a lot of fighting this game. Give them a nice battle order. Not assigning a general yet. There's a special general I have in mind. The secondary army will be put on the Iraqi border. You'll notice I'm using the reserve template. Let's edit that for now. Give it a different icon and give them off the reserve list. And we're going to give them support anti-air, engineers, and support artillery. That's going to hurt my stockpiles, but at least I know what I need. Here's 1936 light tank. 38 medium is still on the way. We're going a bit early for our engineering company too, so we can get started on that. We have all the technologies we need for our light tanks, and we're going to build light armored recon. Has he gone mad? Well, no, I don't think so. I'm going to make somewhat cheap but good enough light tanks with a lot of extra ammunition storage that just gives us extra bonuses and is for free. We'll give them a bogey suspension. They don't need to be that fast. They have to keep up with our infantry. And welded armor. This will do. It's dirt cheap tanks, but good enough for what we're going to use them for. And put 5 factories on it and get building. Well, put them between the trucks. We have 318 political power. I believe it's time to get rid of etatism and go to partial mobilization. This will give us a devaluation of the Turkish lira, and there are events behind this called worsening recession and imminent depression. It's not worth it to go through all that just to keep etatism, so here's the button, abolish etatism. That's the Batumi Accord, and we'll also get Soviet tank factories. We have a small fleet. We can put it in the Black Sea and keep it there. Put it on strike force, give them an admiral, and hopefully that will stop any naval invasions trying to get in. We'll also get around 4 motorized divisions. There are Soviet tank factories. We'll have a look at the Anglo tree for now and get at least these 5 focuses. That's Engineer 2, which means we can start designing our basic medium tank chassis of flamethrower tanks. There we go. Select the role, Flame Support Company, Light Fix Superstructure, Basic Radio, the Dozer Blade, the Sloped Armor, and the last one we can just use extra ammunition storage. You can have a bogey suspension, welded armor, and this is fine. They're still dirt cheap, so we can produce these quite quickly. We'll put them behind the anti-air, and they'll fill up eventually. And we'll go for Grand Battle Plan. Let's have a look. We're going to give our defensive template Recon, Armored Recon. You can see that those are beautiful bonuses for terrain. And we're going to stack those a little. We're going to run a huge deficit of light tanks, but we got time, we'll fill this up. Going to make an addition to our defensive template, and that's the Medium Flame Tank Company. And you can see that these give us extra bonuses for movement across difficult terrain. We don't have those flame tanks yet, but we're building them and we'll get it done. Light tanks, only 160 days, and that's fine. The flame tanks, it's going to take a bit longer. Here comes the big push in the west. German Reich declared war on Poland. Can we already guarantee the independence of Finland? Yes, we can. Can we already justify a war goal? No, not yet. Poland has capitulated, 50% world tension. We justify a war goal against Iraq. 240 days, and Iran 275 days. And we're pretty much done for now here. If we ever expand into the Air Force, we'll get back to this. Let's get the Clodius Agreement. Why are we attacking Iraq and Iran? That's a good question. We need those eventually for the Turan achievement, or formable nation. But the most immediate concern of mine is that this is far too small a front line to fight the Soviets. I need to expand into the Caucasus here, and whatever this region is called. What is it called? Transcaspia. The real trick is to break the troops in the Caucasus. That's always very difficult. I've tried tanks, I've tried air forces, and this time I'm going to try mountaineers. And here we go. It's game time. The Soviet Union declared war on Finland, and I was guaranteeing those guys. So we will accept the call to arms. We are now at war with the Soviet Union. That means we can go to extensive conscription and I believe also war economy. I don't believe in total mobilization in this scenario. That'll only give me more manpower problems. So war economy is just fine. This also opens up a very nice decision here. Recall Ataturk to active service. You need defensive war for that, and guaranteeing someone is a defensive war. That's why we did that, only to get Mr. Ataturk back in the army. Only a few days ago he was near death, and now he is back in the field. We're putting him in the general spot. We're also giving him adaptable and improv expert, and we'll hold on the other traits until he actually makes field marshal. We need to grind him some experience here. Now the Soviets didn't really count on this, so this is all empty space. Don't overextend in here, but what you can do is encircle this cavalry here. That will give you the port, and it's a priority to get to Tbilisi here, so manually move in there. Yerevan is also a very good spot to have. Deny every supply hub the Soviets can otherwise get from you. Something like this. Now I have a semblance of an air force. I'm just going to put them on intercept here and not going to count on much doing for them. Peace in the world bypasses, no surprise there. We got Tbilisi, very nice. Get the railroad here and get the railroad there. The railroad system is not connected to mine, it's just connected through sea. You really want to fix that because the Black Sea is not going to be a friendly place for long. So I'll just add a railroad over here. Now here's another small bug that's annoying. Mustafa here is nicely gaining experience everywhere, but he's not gaining organizer because he has gotten through an event. Something like that. You need to exit the game and reload, and then he will be a regular general, gaining experience in organizer, which you need for logistics wizard. Just thought I'd mention it. We're also coming up on the glorious hour of our invasion of Iraq. Let's go. They'll probably join the commentary, but that's fine. And there we are. Iran will be more difficult because, well, the Soviets will reinforce. For future purposes, I'll be placing a port here on Sukhumi. Declare war on Iran. Will no doubt join the Comintern. There they go. Well, the Soviets are really giving it to us now. But they are getting more casualties than I am. So let's join the Axis. I lost Tbilisi somehow. Well, I skipped a little part, but Well, things are looking better. Germans are in the war, and I made some encirclements. Big worry is that I will not have enough war participation to take everything, but so far so good.
Wow, 2 million casualties for Germany.
They have seen better days.
My poor USSR.
Well, the war against the Soviets is progressing nicely. Germany is grinding itself stupid with millions of casualties. Soviets are, well, keeping up nicely. I had to go up to service by requirement. But we'll get there.
With a nice amount of division encircled. We are back in fashion. Ooh! What happened to Iran?
Good question.
What the hell?
Here I am again. It's a peace deal. Well, that's quite a piece of useless warfaring you missed. The year is 1946. That's right, 1946. And I've been really struggling with this one. I had a full collaboration on the Soviet Union, but the progress meter didn't advance because I didn't own any territory. The Germans did. Only at the end did they actually care to transfer anything to me. Well, confirm and exit. There's still a Russian Empire here. Wow. Allies. Let's have a look at my Turan decision. I need Hatay and Dir Az-Zur. Those are French now. Alright, recap. I made the Turkish-Russian provisional government. I've left the Axis and I'm justifying on Hungary because I have a theory. The theory is that France has been capitulated in the war. They're liberated now, or they will be, but they'll be in the peace deal. And if I join the Allies, I might be able to get enough war participation to get Syria. And here we go, war against the Axis. Well, they have a port, so it's not technically an encirclement yet, but this is very big. Ooh, and this is all dying. Beautiful. All right. Yugoslavia looks like its old self again. There's some problems here, I think. Romania capitulated. Germany is on its last legs. The Turks have entered Berlin. And that's probably the end of the war as well. Here we go. I just need two things, and they're over here, and they're not in a peace deal. So sad. Let's get these islands then. Quite a pitiful peace deal if you ask me. And what did they do to this map? Oosh. Well, Ukraine is, well, here. I doubt this would be politically accepted right now. Russian Empire, Russian Empire. Let's not dwell on such matters. and prepare ourselves for war for Turan. Alright, I'm tired of waiting. Let's see how far we can get. Declare war on France. And see if we can grab ourselves a Turan button. Controls Hatay and Der Az-Zur. That would be this one here. Please, please, oh please take it quickly. Oh, they're streaming in here. But the glorious button is here. Form Turan. Click. Oh, it's just named Turan. The flag is pretty epic though, and we still have our glorious leader, father of the Turks, but now in reality. Let's play a little longer and just watch that manpower stream in. The advent of Turan. I'm going to call it here. The glorious nation of Turan has been formed. I'm pretty much invincible now, although it will probably be a grind of 2 to 3 years to actually get rid of all this. I need to train all those armies and equip them. The ones I have aren't doing too hot, but I should be fine defensively once I clear up this pestilence. I do hope you enjoyed all this. Finally, Ataturk has reformed his great empire. If you enjoyed this video, please take a moment to like and possibly subscribe to this video. Also, leave comments for suggestions or whatever else fancies you. It really helps out the channel and the algorithm. As for now, I hope you have an amazing day and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.